the key would be to spread awareness that there is this common thread that perhaps Americans are losing out.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's for the future of the children.
Right.
So perhaps you can see different people coming together against a collective threat. But I guess there's not such an awareness in US about this. And many people think that everything is fine and rosy.
Yeah, and the people that know that things that aren't, don't really, they know something's not right, but many don't have the global awareness to understand how great the problem is.
Okay.
Or
so
epidemic.
they don't see the threat at all.
Right. I mean, they know that, I think people sense that they're behind, but they have no idea how other countries are lapping them now. I showed everybody the order of PISA.
Oh, PISA. Okay.
And few people could figure it out. Took a while. And one person said, "Is that how we score in education?" Nobody knew it was PISA, because most educators don't know what PISA is. And many principals I've run across don't even know what PISA is. And I just want to let you know, I serve on an educational advisory committee for the San Diego Chamber of Commerce, and few people even in that group know what PISA is. So if these people don't know, the average person doesn't know.
That's right.
But my point is that if the US scored in the Olympics like they do in education, there would be a national hysteria about, oh my gosh, we need to build national gyms, and Congress needs to get involved, and we are incredibly embarrassed and this and that. But we regularly score 36th in math, 28th in science, and 24th in reading. And people don't really see that there's a great problem with this. In the last Olympics, don't quote me wrong, I think the US was second in the Olympic medals. I think China, the Summer Olympics, was first. I think. And so, most people seem to be happy that the country did really well in the Olympics. But I did a PowerPoint presentation for a group of educators. So here's a break in between the schools. You can see here's the different uniforms that the kids wear here. And this school has a really nice track. It's kind of a picture. Really nice athletic field. You normally don't see anything like this in Korea, but these seem to be fairly common here in where are we at here today?
Innova Junior College.
And you're, what is your name?
Paul Chow.
Okay, and what's your position here?
Actually, it's a new position for senior teachers.
Okay.
There is a lead teacher in every school who actually looks after the senior teachers.
Okay, so when you're a lead teacher, do you have to teach less, and you get this as like an administrative position, or how does that work?
It is not an administrative position per se. It is another. Well, in the Singapore education system where teachers are concerned, there is an administrative track, where you become a subject head like Chitra, for example, or HOD, after which you can advance to VP-ship or
then a principal or something like that.
There's also the teaching track, for people who are not inclined to be doing administrative work. They just like teaching and pedagogy. So such people become senior teachers, after which they can become lead teachers, after which they can become master or principal master teachers.
So you're a lead teacher.
Yes.
So what are your responsibilities? How many teachers do you help them, supervise them, or how's that work? You work with them?
I work with senior teachers who actually mentor other teachers.
Okay.
So these could actually be beginning teachers, experienced teachers, at-risk teachers, or teachers aspiring to go further along the teaching track, like aspiring senior teachers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in our case, we don't have anything like this in the U.S.
Well, this is actually a relatively new phenomenon in Singapore, especially the lead teacher position. And the focus is actually on mentoring teachers so that they can improve in their pedagogy and maybe class management.
How often do you help teachers, like per week? How many hours do you spend doing this?
Probably on average, a ballpark figure would be 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours a week.
We are attached to younger teachers or perhaps they have moved from a different system, secondary school to junior college, or and they really need the guidance even if they are relatively experienced.
Okay, and then do you teach less classes, less load because you have this extra?
It really depends on the school itself, but ideally a lead teacher should be offloaded. Because the mentoring duties are fairly heavy.
Right, and how many classes do you teach? How many hours do you actually teach per week in the classroom?
For example, in JC2, in our college at the moment, an ordinary teacher has 3 classes. That works out to something like 60-something students.
3 classes per day?
Depends on your timetable. Yes, some days are heavier. Some days you don't get to see all 3 classes. It depends on the spread of the timetable. But a lead teacher should ideally be offloaded.
Okay, but for a typical teacher, you're a lead teacher, but a typical teacher will only see no more than 3 classes per day.
That really depends on the cohort as well. Like in JC1, which is a separate cohort from JC2, I think some of the teachers actually have 4 classes.
Okay.
And that would be a full load. The classes run a different duration every day.
Right.
So one period in our college is 25 minutes.
Okay.
So we could actually have a short lesson of a minimum of 2 periods, which is 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Yes. On some days we do have 4 periods. That has been organized in that way because we need to set written work, and those are we need to do time assignments to prepare students for the actual rigor of actual written exam.
Per day, just average. About how much time will a teacher actually be in class with a student with a class per day?
Average of 2 periods a day.
And each period is
25 minutes. That works out to an average of nearly an hour a day.
That's all they have to spend with the kids per day.
That is for tutorials.
Right.
That is for tutorials. But depending on the college from which you come, in a college like ours, there's actually a lot of teaching outside the classroom.
Right.
A lot of personal or group consultations or make-up lessons as well. So in effect, teachers, aside from the regular hours that you have, which are in the formal timetable, there's a lot of remedial and consultation and post-test help that we have to give to students.
And do the teachers request that or the students request it normally? The teachers set this
question.
up?
It's more or less so much like a culture that both parties assume that it will be done.
It's part of the...
Yes.
Okay.
Teachers would request it. Students themselves would also request it.
Okay. And then after a lead teacher, you would move to a master
teacher,
if you wanted to do that.
Yes.
And a master teacher, what would their responsibilities be?
The senior and the lead teacher looks after the cluster, or is involved with other schools, not just his own school. Supposedly, 20% of the time. Well, most of the time he should be in his college or in his school.
Okay.
The master teacher actually has got a national kind of responsibility.
Okay.
So that would apply also to the principal master teacher.